Yeah, that took longer to stream than normal. And I'm thinking, oh my God, is the stream not going to work? I can't handle these internet issues over here, but it seems like it's okay. Let me know if you guys can hear me and see me okay. I'm pretty sure we are online and doing good, but I will give you a bit of a warning. Um, if things go wrong, it is the Dubai internet right now, and if we cut out, we cut out. So we'll go as good as we can for as long as we can. But yeah, let's see how we go because this is my first live stream. So how is everyone? Happy Friday. I love Fridays because it's payday for day traders. I did see a comment earlier, someone saying alt season is just taking off. Why are we taking profits? Well, we're going to discuss that because it depends what type of trader you are. Like if you are buying altcoins for the rest of the cycle, or you believe it's alt season, no, you're not taking profits. But if you're a day trader, Friday's payday. And so that's what we're going to be talking about. I want to tell you about some really, the fact that price on a lot of things are in a really key area. And, you know, we'll have a look to see if that, what's your hair secret? Actually, look, this is like all new growth. That's why I cut a fringe, because now it's gotten this long. It was all like bald there. It was all gone. So yeah, it's growing back finally. I'm putting for you guys, for those that don't know, I put it on my Instagram, but I never talked about it on YouTube. I had like a condition for 20 years that like caused my hair to fall out, and now I'm healed because I dedicated 2024 to healing, and now I can focus on my hair growing back. And that's why I've been wearing the bandanas, because I have to put stuff on my head that makes it look really oily. But it's working because now I have like new growth finally, you know? So hopefully I'll have nice thick hair again one day. But anyway, so the answer to your question is peptides. I use peptides and lots and lots of different vitamins for hair and skin health and all that stuff, which is why I look 20. Only joking. I know I don't look 20. I know I don't look 20. Okay. So, yeah, let me know how you guys are going. Where are you from? Let me know if you're in trades. I imagine you're in long positions. If you watch this channel, you're probably in long positions. Are you thinking of taking reversal trades? What's going on this Friday? You guys say it's Pengu day. Let's get paid. Yeah, Pengu's been a great trade. I'm so glad. Like I really hunted hard for that one, and we got it's been paying off really well. So let's go have a look at some charts. Anyway, I'm gonna obviously start with Bitcoin. We always start with Bitcoin, and I didn't check before the stream if that's lined up properly. Yeah, that looks good. So I want to talk about Bitcoin because we do have a bit of a caution here. Francis 21. What kind of peptides? It's called GHKCU. So, okay, good for skin and hair, by the way. Okay, so this is my Bitcoin analysis right now. Now, I did a very quick update yesterday, and I talked about some levels of interest, which are these three pink lines here. So we broke through the first one last night, I think in the dead gap zone that may have happened. And we've come exactly to this one, which is a very important one because this is the 50 fib level of this entire move so far. So if I grab my fib from the top here to the bottom, you see here that lines up exactly on the 50 level. So this is a key area for potential rejection. And as you can see, it's also at the top of this channel. And if we do reject here and start to change trend, it's going to be a 4-hour time frame lower high. Now, on the presence of bad news or, you know, whatever, that could be the highest point you can get for now. That could potentially turn into this 4-hour level 3 drop that we've been talking about a lot. So I've told you that this zone of liquidity here is not yet out of the question. And my major area is still here. It's between about 105 to 107 and a half-ish. It's still not out of the question. Now, does that mean that you don't trade long in the meantime? Absolutely not, because you do have higher highs and higher lows, even though these are corrective. For short-term trades, being long has paid you this week. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't zoom out and see where the danger zones are. So right now we are in a danger zone for Bitcoin. And what that should do then is have you go down to a lower time frame to see if there's any hints that we're going to start reversing from this point, especially when you lie that up with last video you said fractal dangerous. I don't trade fractals, so that wasn't me. You're watching a different channel. But anyway, so you're confusing me with, it's very hard to confuse me with another trader because I'm a female and there's not many of us, so pay attention. But so that means we go down to a lower time frame, okay? So then when we go down to the lower time frame, for me, my levels have played out on the 1 hour time frame. And again, that signals to me to start looking for areas of or ideas of a change in trend. It doesn't mean it will automatically happen. Good morning from Tennessee. But you need to be aware of it, because if it does happen, that's where you get to decide it's Friday, I'm taking profit. I don't want to sit through a pullback, which is a personal decision. Girly loves crypto. Or I'm going to ride the trend, or I think that, yeah, sure, we may pull back, but it's only a retracement. All of these are decisions that you have to make as a trader. So I'm just showing you how I personally make those decisions and how I basically build my case. You know, I ask myself question by question. Look at this in my Discord yesterday. Where was it? I posted, where was it now? Here. I posted exactly, like I wrote this out as I was thinking it and doing the TA. I literally asked myself these questions. Is it worth taking a chance on a short? Do I take profit on my long? Therefore, I have to answer these questions. I answered the questions. Okay, the answering those questions didn't give me enough evidence. Now I've got to ask new questions. So I asked those questions, still not getting the answer. So then I've got to zoom out and see if there's another time frame giving me the answer. I find the answer. Like, this is what you've got to do when you're trading. You've got to literally hunt everywhere. You're playing like private investigator until you get the answer that you want. And that's what we're doing now, right? So we're looking for evidence of whether or not we should potentially take profit on our week's longs, right? Our this week longs, okay? Not long-term longs, this week longs, so that you can get paid before the weekend, because that feels great, number one. And number two, potentially bag flip short if you're willing to hold a short into the weekend. So on the 1 hour time frame then, after seeing your counts, you can see that one thing we definitely have right now is trapped traders. That is this spike to the high right here at the daily 50 fib. So you're looking for trapped traders at key levels, and key levels are, you know, I won't explain all of them, but this is one of them. So then that becomes very easy. You just simply mark out, oh my gosh, hang on. You simply just mark out your trapped traders, because if price returns there, one of two things are going to happen. It's either going to return there and it's going to break through and create a higher high, in which case you haven't closed any longs yet because you don't have evidence of a trend change, okay? So in which case you're already in your long, so you just ride that until the next key level, which is going to be the 116,900 area. And that's fine. That's just a little bit extra profit. And then you do this exact same process again. You look if there are trap traders up here. If there are, you wait. The other side of that is that price comes and it cannot break through your trap trader zone. Usually around the halfway mark is the area of interest, or other key levels like 50% Asia, you know, whatever the key levels that are relevant at the time. The best thing to do, like when you see a potential trap traders, is any vectors that are on that side where the trap happens. So both of these, the green one and the magenta, that's where you want to see and assess what happens if the price returns there, right? So if now say price was to hold the initial low of the day and it comes back up, and then say at around 50% Asia, which will be in the bodies of these two candles, in a new session you see some weakness, again, you'll see this on lower time frames, even lower than what I'm showing you now, but I'll just explain it first. That's where you'll go, okay, I should take at least some profit on my longs or close them completely and get paid. Again, personal decision. And then maybe you'll choose to bag flip and go short because you see the signs for a short. And in that case, you have to ask yourself, am I willing to hold that short through the weekend? Because we know weekend is low volume and boring and whatever, like really you should go do something else. But it might also be like, this is a daily 50 fib. It's kind of worth shorting and holding through the weekend, right? So again, personal choice. The reason we say don't weekend trade is not to not open trades before the weekend. It's more to not open new trades on a Saturday, especially into Sunday evening. It's okay because the market's about to reopen. But Saturday, no point opening new trades more often than not. Of course, that's not 100% of the time. Sometimes it will be. Most of the time it won't be. And it's not so much that it's not worth trading. It's because if you don't step away from the chart, like at least for one full day a week, you can't approach the charts with a clear mind. So it's more about, when we say don't trade weekends, it's more about you protecting your mindset and your energy so that when you do come back to the charts, A, you're coming back when it's likely that volume's coming in, and B, you're coming back with a clear mind and you see things more clearly, right? So anyway, moral of the story is that's how you make your decision as to whether or not you want to take a trade to hold through the weekend. And this was an idea that I put in Discord today, which I'll just quickly explain to you. So for me personally, I don't chart watch. I can't do that. I've got shit to do. So for me, when I see the potential of a left side M forming at the end of level 3, then I assume that the right side is going to form next, right? If it's going to turn out to be an M. So this depends on your confidence level. Like if you're sure, and I'm not sure, I'll be honest, but if you're sure that this is going to turn into an M formation eventually, you don't have to sit there and watch every candle as it starts to form and move back up to your trap trader zone. All you do is grab your fibs and you put it from the peak formation high to what you believe is going to be the middle peak of a future M or W. And then you just stagger your entries at every fib level, 38, 50. So you break your limit entries up into 3 and you put limit orders at 38, 50, 61 and you calculate your risk to the halfway one, so entry 2, and then which it won't end up being exactly 1%, but you then just walk away and just see which ones get hit. Now, when I said to you, I'm not sure, I'll explain why. So this would be a risk, right? And you would only do this if you were a profitable trader and you could afford to get this wrong, right? So you have to look at your P&L, you have to look at your win rate, and you have to decide, am I the type of person that can take a chance on this turning into an M when I don't yet have the evidence that it's an M? Personal question. No one can tell you what to do. So this come up a lot this week because people in Discord are like, oh, we just want to copy you. And it's like, but you can't copy me because A, you're not as aggressive as me. B, I have such a strong mindset that I'm happy to get a trade wrong 5 times before it goes right. I could not care less. It would not make me sleep less at night, nothing, right? So, yeah, unless you're like in the same boat, you can't copy me. And if you were in the same boat, you wouldn't want to copy me because you would have confidence. So this doesn't work. But anyway, so point being that's how you would set it up if you were to believe this was going to be an M. Now, I said to you, I'm not confident this is going to be an M. So here's the problem with taking bag flip trades at limit entries. So I don't do limit entries. I enter market. I enter on triggers. I know that costs me more, but whatever. The problem is that the inside left side of a potential M or W can turn into a bull flag, right? So if we draw this out, let me draw this out like this. No, I'll draw it from here. Okay, so let's draw this out right now. Okay, all we're doing is matching the lower highs and whatever's underneath. We'll go from here. So right now, this is starting to form a wedge, and a wedge is bullish. And that's a conspiracy theory because this might actually break out to the upside, especially if we hold the initial low of the day, right? That's number one. So we've got a new session now. We're in UK. So Asia's done. We know the Asia range. Okay, tick. Now what do you do in UK? You go, you wait for UK to spike the low. Bloody hell, Annie, get your thoughts together. You wait for UK to spike, Asia's high or low. So what we can see here in these two candles, the UK has spiked Asia's low. And that means that Asia traders who have their stop losses under the initial low of the day have been stopped out. So that liquidity has been collected, and that then puts you at risk of the price now going up to take the high of the day. And being Friday, that's a very big risk because it's the weekend trap day, right? UK and US are very difficult, especially if there's a news event to line up to. I don't even know if there are. Let me check. I think there is something a bit later today. Consumer, let's put these on the chart. Oh, both at 6 p.m. Dubai. Okay, so coming up within the first hour of US, we do have a news event. So yeah, it could be tricky. However, again, like I said, it depends on your level of confidence. I personally like to hedge my positions. If I'm going to hold them through weekends, I like to hedge my positions at the peak formation, even if it turns out wrong, because for me, it's not about getting a trade. It's about protecting an open trade. Okay. So what I would do is, as you guys know, I've been long since I told you that I was going long, which was, anyway, I can't find it, but it was back at 107. Okay. So now I just want to hedge that position. I don't really care to make money on a short, but if this turns out to be the peak formation high, then I want to be in this short, even if the short gets stopped out, because my 107 long will immediately make back what I lose on this short. But if the weekend continues to just trend down, then the short is covering the unrealized profit of the long that I'm giving back, if that makes sense. I know this is super, like, it's kind of advanced. If you get it, you get it. So anyway, that's the point. So that's what I would be looking for essentially. And yeah, we're really just waiting for that to play out. Look, the other thing too is that if this is going to turn out to be the inside of an M, the peak may not be in yet. So if that turns out that way, like if UK continues trending down, then wherever the peak is, you just have to readjust your fibs and then you readjust your potential entries. The thing is, if it doesn't bounce soon, you're not going to get the other side today. So that's the other thing you have to think about, because think about how long it takes. Let's measure this out, for example. How will I do this? Yeah, here. So peak formation height. Let's just pretend this is the center peak, which it's not. That took 7 hours and 30 minutes. So if the other side forms now, that's going to be like halfway through US. So maybe you could get it today, but if it takes any longer, like if that's not the center peak, you may not get the other side today. So that's another thing to be aware of. Okay. Can it be outside of the M? What does that mean, outside of the M? I'm not sure I understand that question. So anyway, we have to keep all of this in mind, because the thing is that when you're looking for altcoins, the altcoin trades started to break out, a lot of them, on higher time frames this week. And that means that if Bitcoin does pull back through the weekend, if you weren't in before those breakout trades, then a pullback might give you the next altcoin entry, right? So it's not a bad thing. It's basically a second chance. The other thing too is just to have a look at the dominance quickly, because I was talking about it needing to create a lower high next. I was hoping it would come up to the 50, but I did also say that's kind of a bit of a stretch. It might be that this is the lower high here, right? So this is why, because someone said to me today, oh, how do you like handle going long on altcoins when Bitcoin looks bearish? Because that's going to happen in the transition. That's going to happen in the changeover. So you have to get used to it. If the dominance is coming down, and the stable coin dominance is coming down. Look, this is following perfectly at this point in time, but we want it to break down more. Then you have a look at the totals, and this part may not actually play out now, because this looks like, instead of it being an M formation to lead to a retracement, it's now just looking like consolidation, right? And that's fine, because that just means that the altcoins are bullish, but Bitcoin is pulling back or going sideways or whatever. So fine, that's why you have your attention on altcoins. And when you see Bitcoin pulling back, it should excite you for entries for higher time frame trade altcoins that you didn't get on the first breakout. So therefore, we have to then have a look at Ethereum, because she leads the alts. And Ethereum is also in a very, very key area. So again, zoom out. This was a trade I put in actually, I even talked about this yesterday, but this was Discord. So I said, it held 200 EMA for so long. Take a chance. The trap trader is easily identifiable. It's worth it. So aggressive traders were in here. Conservative traders break and retest. There was a chance. If you had limit orders, there was another chance on yesterday's news volatility. But look where it is now, right? So these, when you see this, a higher time frame vector where price has not been able to break through multiple times, that tells you immediately that there's strong sellers in this candle, and it's going to take strong buyers to break through it. So back here, the strong sellers were at the bottom of the candle, and it couldn't break through 3 times. That's why it went away, and now it's coming back for a second attempt. I always stay with the vector. We care about the bottom, the middle, the top. So look what happened now. Now that it is able to break through the bottom of the vector, it initially struggled at the middle of it. It's so accurate. It's not even funny, right? So again, but then you go, okay, cool. So I can identify that we are now entering a high time frame danger zone. I know it's Friday. I've made some good money. Where am I at in my trading account? Do I need to collect those profits because I'm trying to grow my account? Or can I afford to hold through what I believe is going to be a pullback before further upside, because I can take that risk because I'm generally profitable? Your decision. No one can tell you what to do. So then you go down to see, okay, well, is the move over? And again, you can see here from the weekend trap, level 1 is very clear. The retracement is clear. Level 2 is very clear. And that should mean, so this isn't relevant anymore. So that should actually either resist liquidity. Let me just take it all away. Oops, hang on. Guys, smash a like button if you are learning something on this stream. Because I can't be bothered putting effort into thumbnails and titles to clickbait you. So I need your help with the algorithm by just simply liking and commenting and subscribing if you're not subscribed. It tells YouTube people want to watch this even if she can't be bothered with her thumbnails. And then that helps more people learn how to trade actually properly. So we're here. So then you go, okay, well, if I believe in the method, which again, that's your decision, then I can see we've got 2 rises on the 1 hour, and there should be 1 more to go. This isn't a dramatic sell-off. It's not strong selling. It's possible that ETH will pull back, maybe recover some of this vector, and then it might take off for a level 3. However, don't know if that's going to happen today. So therefore, ask yourself the question, am I willing to hold through the weekend for a level 3? And then number 2 is level 3 might only take you into this area of interest because we have this high liquidity at 45.90. And that is the candle right there where you can see that price heavily fell away after this exact vector candle right here. So again, you now know where the battle zone is, and that calms you down if you understand that, because you expect that when price gets to the battle zone, it's going to have an initial reaction, an initial rejection. And then you go, okay, I get what's going on. As long as I trust my levels, have your rejection. I don't care. As long as your rejection is a high or low, I'm good. If there's more levels to go. So that's the thing that I would watch for ETH today over the next couple of sessions is if this does turn into a higher low and then we do have a move, just be very aware of this zone here between 45.60 to 46.10. And if it does get up there and there is weakness or whatever, that might be the 1 hour level 3 complete. That will be your highest point to take profit on your 1 week trades, and have a good weekend with that. Do whatever you want. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know what else to say. Long term, who cares? Long term, you should be bullish on ETH to at least 6K probably. But for day trading, you got to collect profits, because it's how you grow your account. And therefore, taking profits when your levels are done, when the end of the week is here, like that just makes sense, right? So again, now what you've got is, now what you have to critically think about is, okay, well, Bitcoin's in a critical zone. ETH is potentially, like, it's just rejected off a critical zone, but it may give us one more push. But it's Friday, and that push might be the trap of the weekend. So then what am I going to do with all of my other alts? So now when it comes to other alts, because they're broken out on higher timeframes, a lot of them, you don't have to think as critically like this. All you have to think is, good, if Bitcoin and ETH start to pull back now, they're going to give me high time entries for other things, and that's a lot more chill. So then you just go through your watch list on the 4 hour time frame and see where there are possibilities. Look at this. See, even ETH is still, even the 4 hour zone is a critical zone. But so let's go look for some possibilities then. So Litecoin was one that I posted in Discord. It had broken out, it had retested, now it's taken off. Now, let me give you something else that's massive high alpha. I don't know if you deserve it though. So let me just check if you've liked this video, and then I'll decide. So 764 watching, and only half have liked this video. So I'm not going to give it to you yet. Like the video if you want to know something that's really going to show you whether your altcoin is going to take off or not. In the meantime, let's talk about Link, because I said on yesterday's video I may change my mind about this, okay? And I am now, or maybe, I don't know. But so yesterday, Link was here, and it was basically a double top. And I said on the video that I may change my mind about this level 3 if we create a higher high. Now this has created a higher high in comparison to this. So it's at the point that I do have to reassess. I should also say I'm already long on Link, so it doesn't matter, but I'm just not, it's just not like a huge trade. Like it's a day trade, not a day trade. It's a 1 week trade at best at this point in time. It's not the kind of trade that I think, oh, that's the low till the end of the cycle, okay? There's 2 pennies. So let me zoom out and see if I can make a better educated decision. Okay, so I have a conflict here, because on the daily time frame, this is macro bullish. So we have our W formation. We have 1 retracement, 2 retracement, potentially 3. Okay, so that might be why I'm not getting my, or potentially not getting my level 3 drop on the 4 hour. But let me now double check my liquidity to see if it's still in the same zone, and it is. Okay, it is, so that's fine. Then I want to see if this is following an Elliott wave. So I'm going to use my trend-based fib, because then I can like measure out what I think is going to happen next. So from here, yes, that is wave 1, 2, and 3. So that's all right, which means that there may be a wave 5 coming, and I can measure that target to $32 to $35. So that means a wave 5 Elliott wave may be in the process of happening on the daily time frame for Link. And then I go, okay, now actually I want to tell you this. Someone commented on one of my videos yesterday saying, I don't know why Annie says she doesn't trade retail patterns when retail patterns are all over her charts. And that was a really good comment, because let me explain it. I draw the retail patterns to understand what retail would be thinking, because if it's on my chart, then I can clearly see how they would get trapped. But I don't trade that. I'm basically doing it just to get an idea of what they're thinking, but I trade my horizontal levels that are important to me. So yeah, I understand why that might be confusing, but I'm doing it just literally just to see where people are trapped, because then I have I have an edge. And I can, if I can anticipate where they're going to get trapped, I can get in when they're being trapped. And then when it flips, the trade goes my way faster and I don't have to do anything. So that's the moral of that story, okay? So now look, so now we know that, okay, we know in TBD it's rise 1 and 2, we already know that. We now know in Elliott wave, it's wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're starting to take off for 5. We've just broken out on the daily. There may be a retest. So this does tell me that I should maybe put behind me the idea of this level 3 happening. And what I should then be looking for is a good zone for a retest. If I needed a trade on link, this is a good zone for a retest for an entry to ride the daily time frame wave 5. Does your Discord in business class show all your trades? I can't show all my trades because you can't keep up. So I don't show all my personal trades personally, but I do a ton of updates. Let's just go and have a look. Yeah, both memberships get access to every trade that I post in this channel. Let me just go and find the okay, that was a deep dive on one coin, but here, look how many updates there are here. And like I said to our members last night, I was like, I don't expect you to take every single one of these trades. You can't, because you can't take every single one of these trades and have good risk management, because most of them will trigger at the same time. I post all of this because it's a global community of thousands of people, and one of them might trigger in Asia, and the next one might trigger in UK, and then the next one might trigger in US, and at least there's something here for everyone. But you have to pick and choose the trade that you agree with, that you're going to focus on and take. So yeah, that doesn't mean I personally may be taking them or not taking them, but that shouldn't be your focus anyway. It really shouldn't, because I'm a hell of a lot more aggressive than you can handle. That's the fact. Anyway, so, and I didn't get that way by like trying to cheat either. I got that way by making my own decisions and getting good. So, okay, now that's it. So really, like I said, the best zone for entry, which it's hard for me to identify now, because I would like to have seen this pull back a little bit more to identify, and I can't. And all down here, there's no vectors. So the next vector is here, and that's a very, very deep pullback. So I wouldn't count on that. So what else can I use? Let's go and have a look at where the current short-term liquidity is. And a lot of it is around here. So, oh, that's kind of good. That's a 50 fib. So a 4-hour, not 50 fib, a 4-hour 50 EMA retest eventually on this, because remember, it's 4 hours, it's going to take time. That would end up being an amazing entry as long as the buyer stepped in around there. So anywhere around here, that would end up being an amazing entry to then ride the daily time frame wave 5 to that target that I told you. So that's how you make that decision. Okay. Now, how many likes can I give? I haven't even given you the secret thing that I wanted to give you. So let's see how many likes we have now. 439. But see, it's still, the ratio is still half. There's 934 watching and 439 likes. I can't give it to you yet. So let's go and have a look at the next one. What did I want to say about Solana? Oh, I did want to say something. Yes, I did want to say something. Solana has broken out. Up until yesterday, this was a rising bearish wedge, but it's broken out of it. I think Solana might keep going for now because of the Swissborg hack, and they have to buy back Solana to make their users whole, which is amazing that they're doing that. Shout out to them. But it might keep going for a while, but there is a heavy resistance at 243.87. So be aware of that. And I still, look, again, like I said, I'm long on Solana, so it doesn't matter. But in order for me to basically put the rest of my life savings into Solana, I really do want to see it come back to lower zones of liquidity. And the reason why is because when you add this to your chart, see here, there's really not a lot of liquidity above price. So I really am wondering how much further can this go? Right now, it's probably backed by spot buying. So you can check that in other websites. I can't load too many websites whilst live or it won't work. But yeah, at some point, I think this has to roll over. And when it does, I'll just be watching, all of these zones as they get taken out to see which one it holds at. But for me, like I will not take a new trade on Solana. I imagine everyone's already long on Solana. So ride the wave whilst the wave is there. But just be aware of this 243, say 244, actually, 244 round number area. Be aware of that. And just be aware that there isn't much liquidity above price on Solana right now. So that's a bit of a red flag. Watching on Twitter can't like the stream, but thank you for your thoughtfulness to do that anyway. It's not hard to hit the like button, people. It's really not. Actually, it's much harder to sit here and chart 4 million charts and not lose your mind. Okay, let's talk about XRP, because XRP, I think I got this wrong. Okay, look, moral story is I got the TA right. I got the aggressive entry right. But as far as a pullback, I'm not so sure it's going to come all the way back. I wanted it to come back to this candle right here, but in hindsight, I actually taught you this about Pengu. I should have had this blue vector marked, which it actually did settle in many times, and it lined up with a 200 EMA. So that was a bit of a miss on my part. However, it may still pull back, so I wouldn't give up on it. It's only just broken out of the retail pattern, retail trend line, right? So it hasn't broken out with strength. Can I give you the alpha now? Because it's very relevant for this. 500. Okay. All right. Okay. So here's the thing. Let's go back to Litecoin. So remember Litecoin, I said to you, price broke out, retested, took the trade, but hasn't really gone anywhere since. If you want to know when your trades are more likely to break out and really run for it, what you have to do is, instead of charting LTC USDT, you have to go LTC BTC, and this tells you exactly why Litecoin isn't running hard, because it's consolidating against Bitcoin. And here's two things. Number one, when this consolidation is done, it might run hard like this, for example, depending on timing, right? Like this, for example. And so whilst it might be boring and doing nothing now, if you keep an eye on LTC, BTC, and you start to see it start to move out, maybe create a higher low, you will then go, hang on, it's going to break out against Bitcoin. And that's the point that it will turn into a massive trade. When your altcoin is bullish as a USDT pair, but then also bullish as a BTC pair, that's when you make massive percentages. So never just chart it alone. So this is exactly why you're seeing LTC technical analysis is fine. It's doing what it's meant to do, but it cannot take off until it breaks out against Bitcoin. Then have a look at well, let's look at Sol as a comparison. So we know Sol is super bullish. And look at Sol against BTC, massively bullish. That's why it keeps going. So anything that you want to look at, let's look at Pengu. Okay, so Pengu is my trade of the century. And then let's look at, is there a Pengu BTC? Oh, it won't be. Okay, so let's go USDT / Look, Pengu's bullish against Bitcoin. That's why it's a massive trade. Do you see the difference? Both of them. So for my private community who have access to all of this, I don't know where it is now, but yeah, all these things that I gave you, your homework should be to go and chart every single one against Bitcoin and decide which one you're going to focus on, because Pengu turned out to be a massive trade. Why? Because the secret that I didn't tell you was because I saw that it had this massive run. I saw that it was building a flag against Bitcoin. And I don't say this on YouTube because there's only so much content I can cover in one video. But then it held support. And I told you guys, I'm hunting this like so bad because of this. That was the only reason. And then not the only reason, because there was liquidity there too. But yeah. And then again, like I said to you, when you understand the market maker method, you get in on anticipation of the volume coming in next. Retail waits for this to happen, then a retest, and retail gets in here. Okay, market maker method gets in here because they understand what's happening. So therefore, when I go back to now Pengu, USDT, two things. So took out most of my liquidity. At the same time, I switched to Pengu BTC. I'm like, yep, this is telling me everything. It didn't matter to me how far down it came into the zone. It came down here. We longed here actually. And this here as a day trade was a 12-to-1 risk to reward. Then it pulled back. If you had another go here, you would have eventually got stopped out. Who cares? Because all it was doing was coming back lower into your zone of liquidity, which is a good thing. So try again. You know, if for whatever reason it starts to take off, maybe you move your stop loss too early, you wake up, it comes back, stopped you out. Who cares? It's now giving you a higher low after taking that liquidity. Get in again. This is what I mean. This is why I say you can't copy every trade I do, because you won't have that mindset of who cares, because you got to have confidence in what you see is happening on the chart. And so anyway, now after all these candles of going sideways, most people would have been like, oh, Pengu's doing nothing, and dismissed it. And then bang, it just takes off. And you're too late then. You're too late. So now we're in this, we're enjoying this trade, most of the community. Then when it got to here, we hedged a short on the 1 hour time frame, because I was hoping we would get a deeper retracement. And I thought, well, a deeper retracement for people to get in who didn't get in. And I thought, well, whilst that's happening, we can hedge with a short position. But again, when you hedge a position, it's not to make profit, it's to protect the unrealized gains that you're giving back on your long as the price retraces, okay? So as soon as this came in, opened a short, once it moves away enough, you move your stop loss to here. Okay, so because again, it's not about making profit, it's just protecting the unrealized profit that you haven't taken yet on your long. And then you wait to see if the M actually plays out. But what ended up happening here was we just created a range. So at that point in time, you know it's not going to play out, but it doesn't matter because you're not in it for profit. And that just gives you more confidence that rise 2 is coming. So now it doesn't matter. We did this, we protected our trade, and now we're in way more profit from the long. So that was well managed. And now when you zoom out from the peak formation low, okay, it's not going to retrace back here now because it's done. So whatever, it didn't go back as far as we wanted. But rise 1 is done, consolidation, rise 2 is done. And so now we have to see, okay, it stopped there. Like, is that a key area when we look left? Is this an area that we should expect now, consolidation or a pullback before rise 3? And then we just go, look at that, like magic, man, like magic. There is a very large red vector exactly where Pengu is struggling right now. Liquidity zone. No, it wasn't that one. Hold on. Area of interest. So then we come across here and look at that. The candle exactly on 50% of that red vector. It's the same shit with everything. Is this making sense to you? Can we determine the liquidity zones by looking at fair value gap? No, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. But you don't not have this indicator. You have this indicator. You go to indicators and you type in PVSRA and you look for PVSRA candles auto override buy trade travel chill. You don't have to be a private member. Yes, obviously they get a better indicator than the public one, but this is a public one. So you just add this and you can do exactly what I do on this channel. This is one we made for the public. Okay, what else? Everyone's saying yes, it makes sense. Okay, what else did I want to talk to you about? Probably not the trades we're already in. Let's go through some trades I'm watching that I haven't made a decision on yet. Do you want to do that? Okay, I'm going to assume that was a yes. Okay, so Starlink. Can't get Starlink in the UAE. I'm actually so sick of saying that sentence. Google it before you suggest it. So I'm not all that interested because whilst we have a W, we have a move out. This is fine as a day trade, but there's no volume here. So I'm not all that, whatever, don't like it. Let's just find something more decent. Doge is one that Pedro was talking about on his video the other day, but I wanted it to come back and retest this level and it didn't. Now it's in a high zone of liquidity. So there's no trade here. If it's already taken off, why you should go into the missed it pile. Injective has taken off and it might retest. Actually, you got to remember, guys, next week is FOMC. So we might be having this run because we're leading into FOMC. Next week is going to be like a volatile week. We're either going to sell off into FOMC or we will continue the run until FOMC and then sell off after. So we're going to have to reassess all of that next week. But either way, if your coins that you want are moving up and you don't have entries yet, next week, one of those 2 days may give you the entry that you want. So whilst this is like consolidating now, and doesn't look like it's going to pull back. Like if price gives you a rise and then consolidates, it usually just then goes for rise too. But next week is a different story. So definitely what you should be doing over this weekend is charting all of your alts that you're interested in and have these zones of interest that is your best place to buy. Then if the week opens bearish, or like your triggers are already there and you're just waiting for after FOMC to enter. If the week opens bullish, then you just wait a little bit longer because FOMC might then give you a pullback. And whichever one it turns out to be, as long as that gives you a 4-hour time frame high or low, we're still bullish. It's invalidated if the 4-hour time frame rolls over. So it's definitely worth charting and having an idea of things in advance of FOMC, but just be aware that that's coming up. And if the things you want, like if you miss trades this week, your second chance may still be coming next week. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. XLM, I don't really care. Algo is one that has potential for aggressive entries because again, look, so we've got this here, but this may start to create a higher low, which would be the aggressive entry again sometime next week. This held support a lot. Again, the invalidation is if it doesn't hold a higher low, but if it does, there's an entry there because it hasn't broken out yet. Let me see what some of you are saying in the chat. ADA, I think I already covered that yesterday. ADA, this might be different now because it moved up a bit more, but still, look, for me, ideally 84 to 85, 84 to 85, 6 would, that would be the ideal entry. It's in a high zone of, high vector zone now. So maybe it's starting to come now. I don't really have much to say on a lower time frame. That's the zone I'd be waiting for ADA. AVAX. I think I was looking at AVAX last night. Oh, it's in my missed it pile. We're too late. Say, what pile did I put that one in? Oh, say's in my missed it pile. So again, unless it has a deep retracement, I'm not interested. I would only be interested if it was like here, you know, in the pointy end, like it's created the third touch. Yeah, not interested. Any new bot-worthy coins? Good question. So let's go and have a look at my bots. There's some I haven't released yet. You tell me if you want me to release them and I'll put the links after this video. So basically, like most things have turned green now, which is good. Some things are still struggling a little bit. all the ones that say trade, travel, chill, those links are already available to you. If you go to the description of my video, and you'll see here where it says copy my bots, and you can access all the links here. So the way it works on Pionex is if you've joined Pionex using my link in the description, which is here, then you can access every bot here. But if you have a Pionex account elsewhere, then you can only access the ones that say open to public. Obviously, if you're loyal to the channel, you get more perks. That's how it works. So anyway, point being, you can see every one that I've publicly released is here. And right now they're doing okay. The ones that are red, I'm not worried about. Like they'll be fine soon. So what haven't I released? I did ETH and USDT at the start of this week, a new bot, because there's already an existing bot that you're already probably all following, but I did a new one and I haven't released them yet because we're in that critical zone of interest. So if we reject hard, I won't release them until a new higher low is in. So those ones aren't. I opened one on Graph. Why did I do that? Somebody actually mentioned it. Let's have a look at it. Someone mentioned it and then I charted it and went, this would make a good bot. Do I have it in my list? GRT. Yeah, here. So the I can't remember why I did it now. But yeah, basically this was looking like, yeah, it was. This was consolidating at the lower part of the range. And I was like, this is going to break out soon. And we could set a wide range to the upside. So I opened one on that, and you wouldn't be too late, especially if it pulls back next week. I would definitely go and copy that bot, but it's not public yet. Let me know if you want that one. What else is there? CVX I released only the other day, and FXS, they're really good ones. Oh, these are old ones as well. They're all released. Oh no, DOT I've done. I think all of these other ones are already released. Yeah, there's nothing else. Okay, what else? FOMC I feel is fully priced in already. Need more cuts than expected to move. Well, we'll see. Could we not just break out parabola for FOMC? Yeah, we could if like your levels say that there's more levels to go, we could, but that's why you have to learn how to read consolidation as well as pullbacks. And again, I don't chase trade. So if we just went for it and I didn't get the pullback that I wanted, then oh well, there's hundreds of coins to trade. Quantum is one I'm watching a lot. Actually, this is another example. So look, this is again in a high time frame retail pattern. Now it's got this much of the vector to go. There's a chance it may go into that zone. It's holding the 200 EMA at this point in time, but it also hasn't broken out. So what do? You go look for hints against Bitcoin. And look against Bitcoin, it's still bearish. So, you know, like I took a long when it had that FUD over at the beginning of the week or whatever. It may not play out that long. But if it doesn't, I don't care because I know that there's the rest of this zone and I'll just be watching this on... Wait, it wasn't quantum. Sorry, that wasn't quantum. That was quant. That was different. But this one, I'm not in a trade. I'm watching the trade. Sorry, guys, I fucked that up. I'm watching a trade to see if it recovers the rest of this. And then if it does, there may be an opportunity. So this was one of the ones. Last night, I charted every single coin on Binance watch list. And these were the ones that showed potential that are not ready yet. So it was quant was one and the other one was theta, because look at theta if you zoom out. If it comes down again, either creates a higher low or it has one more touch down here, that's going to break out big next. So they're my big two ones to watch. Keep those ones in mind. May take time, but they are looking good. A lot of other things have already taken off. Okay, what else? You are my favorite person on YouTube. Thank you. Which bot to copy? I'm very low on funds, like only 1 to 2 bots. I don't know. All of the bots have a different amount that you can allocate. Like they have a different minimum investment amount. So you would just have to flick through them and see what it says. I don't keep that stuff in my memory. This is only limited space in my brain. But just flick through and see what the minimum is for them. Okay, some others I had that are not ready. Let's just see if any of them look a bit better today. No, that looks shit. No, I would put this in the, that goes in the missed it file. Arweave, is this Arweave? Yes. No. And whiff, no. Okay. Well, that's that. What about any others that I'm watching? Vet? No. Render's broken out. If it retests, there may be an entry. See again how it's struggling here at this vector candle. A lot of them you'll find right now, a lot of the charts, if you chart them on the 4-hour time frame, they're meeting resistance at the 4-hour vector, a lot of them, which gives you the hint that you should be charting for potential pullback entries. So the first area I would watch is this candle right here because it's around the 50 EMA. If we come back lower than that, it's actually better because it's better risk to reward than this one after that. But yeah, that's how I feel about render. Phil, no. Aptos, no. Trump was looking good, believe it or not. Look at, it's got no volume. That's the only problem. There's no volume. But look at this accumulation down here, and now it's trying to break out. I would only take this as day trades. I would only, like, again, it's struggling now here at its 4-hour vector. This is high stupidity degen only if you can afford for it to go wrong. Like, this is not a high quality trade. I'm just going to be very honest about that. Yeah, you'd have to be bored as fuck, to be honest. So, expect it to struggle here. If it creates a higher low, maybe it will go next, but it's lacking volume and you're probably going to make more money in other coins. Okay, what else? What else? Is there anything else in the list that I haven't looked at? Bullish after FOMC. I don't make these, I don't make, the chart will tell me after FOMC. I can't tell you today. Oh, Aave. Yeah, Aave's been a good one. Where is Aave? Here, I've been in Aave for a long time, actually, just sitting through all of this. Like, I don't know where I got into Aave, but it was one of these two peak formation lows. I've been in it for a long time. And, okay, so again, look, it's broken out now, but it hasn't broken out with conviction. And that's always the risk that you take if you want to be an aggressive trader, is that you're taking the trade in anticipation of it breaking out. But then when it does, you have to reassess if that breakout is strong. And if it's not, like, should you cut the trade? So then we have to make the decision, and having a look at Aave against Bitcoin is going to help us make that decision. So see here, it's lower lows and lower highs, and it's a rejection of the 200 EMA. It may end up being something that you cut, but also not right now. It's worth giving it a chance because of this vector candle is where it came back to. So let's see now if Aave Bitcoin will create a higher low. And if it does, then it will become explosive. And then it's worth hanging on to. If it doesn't do that, you probably want to cut the trade. Dot. Where's Dot? I think Dot's in my missed it. Yeah, Dot's in my missed it pile. Ina's, come on. Ina's too high. There's no entries there. Guys, by the way, if you are wanting to copy those bots, the Pionex still has this bonus going on, 18 days left, and you can get these deposit bonuses. Now, the reason why they're so good is because 100 USDT gets you 100 bonus, and it goes all the way up to 10,000 deposit. So 10,000 deposit gets you 1,000. But the reason that these are good is because they're basically a chance for you to copy a bot and try out the platform without using your own money. So there's basically no risk. And if the bot closes negative in 20% negative, it automatically gets closed and Pionex takes the loss. So it's not on you, it's on them. If the bot goes 20% positive, Pionex closes, gives you the profit, and then takes the bonus back. So it's like spare money. So it's worth trying just to like get used to the platform and whatnot. And then from there, you can like do your own bots, which by the way, if you do want to do your own bots and you don't know, we created a free course on how to do your own GridBot. So you don't have to copy other people unless of course you want to. But this course, you can do this course in under an hour and it will show you everything you need to know about GridBots, how they work and all that kind of stuff. And this course is completely free for now. All you need to do, however, is create your Pionex account using our link, which is in the description of the video right here. And then come to this website, which is also in the description of the video right here. And then you click on this button and you create your account with using your Pionex UID. And your UID you get from right here. And that's it. You can unlock access instantly. You have to fund your account with $250, but that's yours to spend on trades. And yeah, then that's it. You can learn if you want to learn so that you can be empowered to do your own bots and you don't have to be at the mercy of other people. And then asking for KYC. So there is a secret there that I probably won't say on YouTube, but what I highly recommend you do is come down to the FAQ and then read what it says here. Okay. What else? I've got time today, so if you want to hang around, I can hang around, even though it's been over an hour. But, oh, Illuvium. No, wait. I did look at this yesterday. I'm trying to remember what I thought about it. It's not on my list, so I mustn't have liked it. Let's see. Oh, maybe there just wasn't an opportunity. No, it's already gone. It's already gone. So if you're asking me for targets, the problem with this is look at the volatility to the upside. So when you see these wicks like this, anytime it gets there, it's going to struggle here as well, which is what it's happening now. So it's fine to ride the uptrend of this, but expect it to be volatile and expect it to have sharp pullbacks like this when it gets to prior wicks like this. Curve, I think, oh yeah, curve might be an opportunity. That was a good one. So curve, here's the W formation. So that was the initial entry. If you missed that, it's consolidated and now it's sort of taken off. But as a retail pattern, it hasn't broken out yet. So retail will step in when it breaks out of this range, which means you want to be in before they do that. So a higher low on this, it's kind of hard to identify where because there's not really any clear zone for that. But essentially, if it starts to reject here, I feel like I need to sneeze. Then just do it as a fib level because there aren't clear vectors here for it to happen. So just do it as a fib level that lines up with these EMAs. 50 or 61.8 would be a decent entry if this turns out to actually be where the pullback starts. I found you from Gabby and already have a Pionex ID. Okay. Grandpa.goat. I did dot Ondo. Ondo, I think, was in my list. Ondo. Yeah. So what do you want me to say? It's done. Chill, guy. It's done, and it's in the high zone of liquidity, so consider taking some profit as well. Chill guy. I did look at this yesterday. I didn't like it either. We're too late on it. This is not what I like. I like trades that haven't already started doing this, you know? Look for the big opportunities and then you can just chill. Like chill guy. Any memes you're eyeing. Do you know who I am? No. Cody. I think I looked at Cody. I didn't like it. I didn't like it because it doesn't feel ready. It's still lower lows. It's still rejecting 200 EMA. Let's look at Cody BTC. What? I mean, look, it may be bottoming out. It's worth keeping an eye on, but right now there's nothing there. Give it more time and see if it really does bottom out. STX. Let me see. Same thing. Look, it may be bottoming out. This is the thing. This is why I'm starting to think we're going to get alt season, because even the shittest of the shit coins look like they're in an accumulation zone. And let me just tell you a story, and this might ramble on a bit, but last cycle, I didn't have TTC. I was a trader for another company and used to teach their community. And it was the bull market for Bitcoin, but not for alts yet, similar to recent. And I was every day charting things like this but they were accumulating like this for a year. So this is not a year. How long has this been? This has been 220 days, sort of close enough. And I was like, shit, alt season's coming. Like it's going to break out big time. Because even the shittest coins looked like that. And I'm like, this is going to break out big. And then all the other traders that also worked for that company really turned on me. And they're like, why does she keep saying that? Like, what makes her think this time it's going to break out? Like, you know, every time we accumulate like this, we just then create another lower low. Like, why would it be different now? And I'm like, it's going to be different now. It's going to be different now. And then they just broke out massively. And I remember it so clearly. But the point being that this is all I did last cycle. It didn't matter to me what the coin did. I did not care. I literally was charting everything like I did last night. You get the whole watch list from your exchange that you trade on, and you just make a watch list in TradingView and you chart everything against Bitcoin and you look at it on the daily time frame. Do you see it going sideways for a year? Yes, then that's it. That's where you mark those zones. Then you go down to 4 hour and you start to look for hints that within that sideways accumulation zone, a higher low is coming. If you can get that, then it will explode. Gala did like 800%, you know, like things did. I'm not saying that's going to happen this cycle. I know no one believes in alt season. And the point, guys, like you've got to, if you want to make money, you have to do the work. You know, I was up till 2 a.m. charting everything on Binance. If you want to make money, you got to do the work, and now's the time. And I was talking to Pedro last night and I'm like, why isn't anyone getting excited? And he's like, I think everybody's just so exhausted because they've felt like this was going to be it so many times and it's never been it. And maybe it's not going to be it, but it will short-term be it. You know, it will short-term be it if you pick things that technically are showing you that they're getting primed for a breakout. So don't give up at the best time is my advice, you know, and it may not be today. It may not be this month even. It may not be a good month until next month or to the end of the year or the start of next year. I don't freaking know. But I'm telling you, we're closer to it being great than it being really bad. That's how I feel. And for that reason, it's worth doing the work now. Those that do the work now will reap the rewards. And all you're going to have to do, if you find charts like that, accumulation zones like that, all you're going to have to do is make sure you take profits and don't let the greed get to you. You know? Anyway, I might leave you there because I've like spilled too many secrets. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button. Get onto Pionex. I tell you why you should get onto Pionex and just copy some bots is because they make money for you in the background whilst you are getting great at trading. And that really eases your mind. That's been the biggest feedback with my private community is that if they miss trades, at least they know they've got bots going in the background that are making some money for them, and they can calm down and they can, take their time to learn and get great. So consider joining us at TTC as well. If you're interested in learning to trade, the community is so active. They're hectic AF. They are always in there trading. It's not some community that you're going to go in and it's like dead silence. They're 24/7. There's a big team in there. Everyone's doing charts. You've seen my charts. You have the side hustle of the bots. Like you've got everything you need. All you got to do now is go, bitch. Like that's it. All you've got to do now is go. Like do the work now. Do the work now because it will pay off. And I can tell you that because I've done it for 3 cycles. Okay, love you guys. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.